Yeah, good. Hi everyone. Today we're slightly shifting the... Sure, sorry. Should I react? Should I not? Okay, whatever. Today we're slightly shifting the schedule of my streams, because everyone is in quarantine anyway, and this time is more convenient for people, and I can slightly adjust my schedule, so I'll work in the evenings and I will stream right now. That's first change. Then second change is more maybe interesting, because we're finally done with the camera controller, and now we should start working on something interactive. Kid is crying for some reason. I'm not sure what is happening in there. I have my, office in here, in the room. Okay. 1 second, I just got a message that I should somehow react to. And I will, in a second. And anyway, it's just the startup for the stream, so waiting for people to join if they want to join, and all that. Okay. Okay, so I'm done with stuff not relevant to whatever we're doing here. First thing we wanted to do on this stream is to plan ahead what we're going to do with some interactive stuff. First, let's say that we will add stones first. So that should be stone, find stone, because we'll use some asset from somewhere. Make sure it moves properly on terrain. Then, next step, learn to grab the stone with hand. Position hand properly when above the stone. Because right now we are recasting our hand into terrain, but probably interactive objects is something we should keep our hand near it, or so something, I don't know, there are options on what we can do here. I think we should make some part of the stone a block of terrain. Just an extra collider for that matter. That's it. That should work. But we'll figure it when we come to that. Why is it so loud? Okay. Then, next thing. Learn to put the stone back. And then throw the stone. Think of a tree. Maybe we'll have some other steps somewhere around. Let's begin. I guess this is a fine plan on what we're going to do. So let's go to the marketplace for this thing. Again, I forgot where that is. Set management. No. Asset store. Here it is. Let's search online. I'll need stones. Yeah? Okay. Unity stones. Okay, Unity 3D, 3D stones. Stone 3D exterior. Let's see what it is. This model is optimized for Unity and easy to use. So this is a single model of a single stone, which is fine for us in our current state, but in general we probably want to have something more advanced. Sorry, remove this. Okay. So, what is this? What? Why is that on top? Okay, whatever, everything's fine. This is just a single stone. Maybe we have better stones somewhere? 15 bucks. Okay, let's search here. Stones. I think I need something for free, because I don't care enough to pay right now. Just free assets. Stone monster. Nice. This is stone, this is stone, there are some stones, stone fence, stylus stone. The texture is good, but I won't be able to do anything useful with just the texture. I also need the models. I can create models, like some random shapes, but I can also programmatically create models for the stones. But that's not exactly what I want to do right now. Let's add this. Those are some stones. They seem to be nice. We'll stick to them. Asset store, download. Now I remember where the button is. Also, one day I would like to start using the Unity Pro, because Unity Pro gives awesome dark interface. Yeah, really, that's the thing I care about. I mean, it has profiling, it has a lot of beautiful, awesome stuff, but dark interface is something I would use right now. But again, for now I'm trying not to spend too much money on this project and see where it goes. Then when we're stuck somewhere and it needs investment, then I will think about it. So we had these packages. No, these packages. We've imported the stones. Where are they? I can see them. Free. Yeah, I like it. Free. Just because it's free. Materials, mesh, textures. Good. Now let's create stones. Prefab, create folder, props, and let's first create it in here. It should be 3D project with something. Oh, let me think how it's done. What? So it has two of them inside? What it means? Let's take a look at this. Here is our stone. It's tiny, little. Okay, I see. So we have this stone over here. I'd like it to be bigger. I mean, much bigger. Yep. This is better. Maybe not this much bigger. 5, 5, 5. Then I need to add a mesh collider to it. And the mesh is stone 1, that's correct. I will add rigid body with the mass is in kilograms, and I have no clue how heavy this stone is. Well, let's say it looks pretty big compared to the grass. I would call it, let's say, 10 kilograms. It doesn't have drag, it has angular, it is affected by gravity, it is not kinematic. We should extrapolate the collisions or interpolate. Collision detection, so those stones can fly around in some cases. Do we want to give it something in here? I'm not sure. Stone one, and let's save it into props. I like to create a regional variant. What? Just stone one, that's good. Okay, now let's check that it works properly with gravity. We'll lift it somewhere above this slope, so we can see that it rolls around and it does stuff. We'll have access to all the velocities and everything from the code, so it won't matter anymore. It won't matter that much. Now I want to make sure that we see this stuff right from the beginning. Let's play. It falls, and it falls right through the ground. Which means something is wrong. I wanted to put it so mesh collider, rigid body. What am I missing? What is convex? Unity. What is convex? Let's check this. Convex. Enable the checkbox to make mesh collider collide with other mesh colliders. 255 triangles. Okay, I don't think it has more than 255 triangles, so let's try this. Yay, now it collides. That's nice. And we see it rolling, and it rolls, and it rolls, and it's good. Yep, it rolled right here. That's cool. So we've created a stone, we made sure that it works more or less. Now let's put some more of that stuff around. Let's put them into different places. Yeah, they all will be flying. Not to put anything underground. This, and here, and here. Okay, so now we have a bunch of stones that will fly down. They will collide with the terrain and won't do anything else. Then let's override the default. Let's start it again. They'll have the same rotation right now, but not like we care too much. The graphics is handling this easily, as I hope it will. And it works pretty fine without any better collision than discrete, which is good. Let's say not interpolate. And this one behaves properly too. Okay, so let's not interpolate stuff. Apply all, and for those guys, let's revert all. So now they all have the same interpolation. Good. So we found stones, we added them. Yeah, I really like those small steps. It's like I'm doing something, you know? Position hand properly when above the stone. So right now we don't have a hand. We just have this circle, this sphere that behaves as if it was hand, though it's not. Oh, bug. Okay, we'll remove it. So do we need to position it somehow over the stuff? think we should slightly highlight that we're targeting something that can be interacted with, but we don't really need to change the exact position of an item. What do we do to make this happen? There are multiple options on what we can do. First, let's move the stone out from default layer, and let's put it into reactive objects. Layer, interactive objects, and all of them, let's put all of them onto interactive objects. Will they? Yeah, they get everything applied automatically. And let's say that they still do collide with stuff. Let's fix the bug with this hand. I just forgot to disable the window at some point, so it's really easy to fix. It's roll-in controller, 12 into it, and finish the hand.onGrab, but also it should be roll-in UI question dot set active false. This. Then, if we're hitting something that is on interactive layer, and we're using hand movement controller, because this is the one that is in charge of stuff, we will need to do something. Hit dot. So we can hit rigid body, we can hit collider dot game object dot object dot layer, or transform dot layer. Okay. So we're saying that now we don't need just the point of the hit, we also need the object that we're hitting. Let's go here and say here game object equals null. I mean, object is a bad word for this. Object hit. I will need both the hit.position and the object, and I'm not sure I will always use raycasting, that's why I will keep these things separately. I'm pretty sure I will, but things tend to change every once in a while. Hand, get hand, blah 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 is enabled, position, blah 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 blah. Let's go here to constants and say that, okay, 2 layers mapping first, and say interactive object. But we can never hit the interactive object. It is not ever happening at all, for a really simple reason. We're raycasting through it. That means that we'll need to figure that the hand is inside that object, or I'm just thinking on where to position hand when we're about to grab something. We can put it inside the... yeah, we can put it inside the object, so it's hidden, and you will never be sure exactly on what you're trying to grab. The second option is put it on the surface of an object, but that will mean that you can grab on a tree or grab on something and move around with it. That doesn't seem like a bad thing. It might be a bad thing, but it doesn't seem so. And of course you still can grab, you still can move, so that doesn't really matter much, and you will not fall through stuff. Okay. So that means that for this stuff, for terrain layer, so let's look into layers first. Let's figure which layer our interactive object is on. It's level 8, so it means it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's this. It's the amount of, like, layer 9, which means it's layer 8 means it's actually layer 9, and it will have 8 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 zeros, and then the 1. That's how that stuff works. Then in constants, we'll say public static read only layer mask into active object mask dot layers mapping dot interactive object. So now we have the interactive object layer mask, but we have the same issue with default and terrain. Let's call this. Let's split it into two different parts. First one we'll use here, and we'll call it the hand movement layer, and the second is camera movement layer. And here we'll use F2 camera movement layer. Let's see references for this stuff, because I might be wrong somewhere. So what I'm using this for is to process collision for the camera, I'm using this for the hand movement, and I'm using this for camera movement. Camera movement will do the same as hand movement, so I can move this out, I believe, into something absolutely different. Let me think about it for a second. Yeah, let's do this. This thing belongs into... This can only influence camera collision, and we'll move it out there. Camera collision processor. Here we'll have it as public, and we will use this. Then in camera movement, do we really need this raycast? Okay, so this raycast transforms from our anything into anything else. I think we'll put the camera movement layer in here too, and we will reuse it, because most likely we only need the default layer in here. It's like the less layers we have in this control, the simpler those raycasts are, and that's it. We don't really care what we will hit. If something is not on the terrain, it's non-existent. So I think we're good like this. And then here we will actually use this thing. Public layer mask, it's interactive object, I'll call it hand movement layer, and we'll call it this or terrain. Dot default. one of those two. And let's put this stuff over here. Then everything should be fixed, more or less. If nothing, then nothing. Why did I add this if in here? Did I mean to do something? Whatever. Doesn't matter much. For the controllers that we have everywhere around, let's say, yeah, I'll need to do one extra small thing. Yeah, again, you see, we're still working with the camera to add interaction. That's how this stuff is. I've added something and then I'm putting more stuff on top of it. That's why the cleanup from the previous stream was really necessary. Otherwise, stuff would just start breaking apart. So we don't hit those stones, and I have no idea why. Let's see why. Movement controller, layer default, hand movement, layer default. For whatever reason, this stuff didn't work. Oh, I see why this was there. Now I remove this. I'm sorry about that. That was... whatever. That's not relevant to whatever we're doing over here. I can remove both of those, and hand movement layer for some reason is terribly wrong. The interactive object layer. And I will need to look up why. Unity into layer. Get layer number from layer mask. How to use layer mask? Okay, layer equals 3, shift left, by layer. 1, 2, 1, 2. I don't know what the problem is. C# into string binary. Let's do this. I will set it up manually, and then here, if we hit something, then I will do debug dot log. The mask is hand movement layer dot value. Okay, now I will see the value for this, and I will be able to understand what it means. Of course, if I open the console. 257. Yeah, 257 is really useful. I have no clue what that means. 2 in 32 to string, convert to string value to convert dot to string. Really? No way. Convert dot to string. And of course this stuff. Okay, this is present. That's cool. I was thinking that it's some custom stuff that I will not be able to find over here and I will struggle to use. But no, it looks fine. Okay, again. Okay, let's see what that is. Oh! I'm a bit too dumb. I'm sorry. Of course. What is this? Can it implicitly convert int to long? Are you missing a cast? Is it long? It shouldn't be. 1 Let's just copy this number. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I was right with everything, I just missed stuff. Hey, tell us. An explicit conversion exists. Why would it tell me that this should be long value if it's really integer? What's wrong with you? What? What is wrong? It's too big of an integer? No, it's not. What? And of course it should be constant int. I'm fine with saying that this is long, but it will bring more issues than anything else. Because yeah, here I will not be able to convert long to layer mask, and it's just more problem. An explicit conversion exists. 1 shift left 8 times. Okay, it agrees that this is integer. I don't know what was wrong with it. And here 1 shift left 0 times. And it's more obvious to write it this way, so it's just plain better. Here, let's just apply this, because that's the mask we need. Remove this, and now we can see stuff. Yep, that's good. Then, do we really want to use the heat for this? How does it work? Oh yeah, I see it's under grass and then it's above grass. That's good. That's fine, just the grass is too big for this small circle. That's fine. Okay, nice. Now we have two different options. First, we can add interaction on the layer of the hand itself. The other option is we can put interaction on the movement controller. If it's hand itself, then we will need to use the trigger collider for the hand, and if something enters this trigger collider, we should somehow highlight that this stuff is interactive. Other option is that if we hit something with our raycast and we find that the stuff we're hitting is collider, is interactive object, then we will decide it from that perspective. Those both are very valuable options. I'm thinking if the hand should know that it has something, or it should just be able to grab stuff, to interact with stuff. And it anyway should have the animation for all the possible interactions. So it should just work. But there are issues around that too. Let's just play around with this and let's think about it a bit more. So let's say we're trying to catch something that is falling down, and we put our hand on top of this. Now I think the interaction should be a part of PC controllers and not the hand or stones or anything, because for consoles, let's say, if we decide to go to consoles, this type of interaction will be different. I mean there will be a different way to understand that we should highlight something, because we'll interact with some place, not the exact object, and then we'll, for example, dive into the space. And yeah, thanks you for better light. Now it looks much better. Thanks. Okay. So the interaction model will be slightly different, and for VR, it is obviously even more different, because it's obvious what you can grab and what you cannot. It's just not obvious how you move the camera. Okay, let's keep it here. That means next song, please. Next song, thank you. Cool. That means that here, with move hand, we will pass the object hit dot what? Dot transform, but there was dot game object. No? Oh yeah, because hit dot collider dot game object. Dot game object dot layer equals constants dot layers mapping dot interactive object. Then we will pass it. As I remember this, so I'm building in the as the end goal, I'm building for VR and consoles, and by the way, I will make it for PC anyway. But for now, I'm making the prototype for PC. I'm just taking into account that sometime in the future, I will have to write some code for consoles, for VRs, and I need to think about it now, not to rewrite all the stuff. Because I don't like doing the same job over and over again. And the further you go with non-flexible design, the less flexible your design gets. Hit. I don't like this stuff. Like this, all this move, all this that doesn't feel right at all. Let's pass the collider there anyway. I don't want to pass the game object in there. I will pass the collider because it's closer. Collider here. And I have no idea what to do about it. Let's not pass it at all. It's just that if hit dot collider dot game object dot layer equals what was that, layers mapping interactive object, then the hand dot hide grab, and grab is grabbing let's say public static void interaction, and yeah, we'll use this private stuff. Bool left equals false. Yeah, you see, I'm putting this left equals false everywhere because I'm doing this again. Yeah, the size of the code. So I'm putting this left equals false everywhere because I'm assuming that at some point we'll have left and right hand. It might not ever be the case, it might be unnecessary in the end, but if I'm accounting for this, then I will not have problems if I run into this thing. So here highlight interaction bool is rectangle is interactive equals false. Nah, just this. And let's not assign colors every frame. Interactive color equals false. Then let's put this into a parameter, the color.gray, color.red. Put camera as a parameter. Should I? No, no reason anymore. Public color, default color equals color.gray. Public color, web color, color.red. Public color, interactive color, color. Magenta, and public color action color equals color.blue. Something like this. Is interactive color, and here we'll also say is interacting. Okay. So it is interactive if is interactive is not equal to is interactive color I'm forgetting variable names I just added. You see, it's not equal to is interactive color. Oh yeah, because hand dot is interactive color. Then equals this, and we'll change the color. Is interactive, and hand dot interactive color, or hand dot default color. And here let's say the same stuff. Hand dot default color. Which sound? I have some construction site outside the window, and even though everyone is in quarantine and only essential jobs are allowed to go to the office, they're still constructing something. I don't know, maybe you hear that, but you shouldn't. Also, sometimes I'm doing sounds, because I'm thinking that way. That's just the way I think. And also there is some music playing in the background, so something strange might come from there. My kid seems to be sleeping, so probably that's not her making those sounds. Grab color. Okay, then if this stuff is interactive, what did I do? I pushed this button. Highlight interaction. This. More like a Trojan. I don't know. I haven't heard anything weird. And is hidden false. Yep. That is right. So now I'm making those two calls every time, even though I only need one. But who cares? So let's see that on interactive objects we still don't see any color change. Because of course, why would it work from the first iteration? Have you ever seen that I've done something that works from the first iteration? Layer. The layer game object is in. Let's say this. If is not equal to 1, Then debug log. I'm here. Something like this. So the terrain is on layer 1. It's 2 to the power of 0. And the hands are on... Oh, I see what the problem is here. So this is on layer 8, and that stuff is on layer different. Void means nothing. So public void something means it doesn't return any value at all. In Python you're used to, as I remember, you're using Python usually. In Python you don't specify what the function returns, it just returns something and then everyone trusts that it will return something meaningful. Here it's more strictly typed, that's why I say that this will not return anything, and you see there is no return whatsoever. Here I say it will return boolean, and it returns boolean all the time. And I cannot return null from here, because boolean is not nullable, and I cannot just write return. This will not work. It will highlight that this stuff, an object, is required. Usually. You know, right now it's usually, then with time you might start using something else. I think you have gotten to this. It's one of the real basics, and in Python they just don't care about this stuff, so don't bother. So my current problem is that this layers mapping is mapping the binary layers. But I will need... I don't want to create a separate file for that. Let's call this public static class layers mapping int. So this is called binary layers mapping, and this is just called layers mapping. And I will put the same variables, the same values over here. I will say default is 0, interactive object is 8, and here I will reuse those. So now I can use just a layer in here. So my problem was that this layer is not binary, it's integer, like the normal integer. So for the interactive it will return 8 and not 1 some zeros. And now, yeah, you see it turns blue when we can interact, and it is not blue when we cannot. Then we can actually, instead of the ray casting, can do sphere casting, but I wouldn't change it right now. It's a nitpick. Let's get closer to the actual interaction stuff. So, if we're in interactive mode, we can interact with stuff. That kind of makes sense. How do we interact with stuff? I can create an extra controller for that, and that is what I will probably do. And it will be separately enabled and or disabled. It will not affect the grabbing stuff, so it's a completely different thing. Yeah, and it's totally separate controller. Yeah, that's how it is. And direction controller. You see, it all falls under the same interface, like it's still initialization, it's still processing, it cannot be locked, ever. But no, it can. Because it will be locked most of the time. Okay, yeah, good. Is still reacting. Is. I'm not sure I need to follow this route. I probably need to make it a separate thing. Let's think about it. So when we're initializing, then we do the hand dot. Actually, I should initialize with left or I should initialize them all with left or right hand again, because that is something they will know about themselves and something they will send somewhere else. But yeah, this is under PC controllers, so okay, let's stick to this. The hand dot interact. The hand interaction here is an interesting thing. There are some things that we can touch, and there are some things that we can actually take, that we can grab into our hand. And those things are different. And they are not anyhow related to each other. Okay. Public static void interact. And bool left equals false. I'm not sure it should be boolean. I'm not sure it should be void. It should be boolean most likely, because we are grabbing the hand. If hand is not if it's not in the interactive color, then we'll return false. Awesome. Return false. Because if we cannot interact with anything, then we'll say that we're not interacting. Whatever. Return true. Then we'll need to add an extra interface to this. I'm thinking of an interface. Maybe it should be an abstract class. Objects. And here let's call it iInteractive. Interactive object. So what is an interactive object? It's a monobehavior. It's an abstract monobehavior with I'm not sure about starts or updates. It will be attached to something, but I'm not sure it will have any start or update or anything like that. What it will have is public abstract boolean is grabable. Get. So this one will need okay, long interaction. Actually, creating something simple to automate your daily routine is a great way to learn programming and help your daily routine to free more time to do more stuff, for example, learn programming. So that sounds like a great plan, actually. Needs long interaction, public abstract void start action. And it will need some other methods. We'll think about them a bit later. So here, for int equals hand dot get component interactive object. So anything that can be transformed into interactive object will get me here. I will return int obj dot obj dot interact, start interaction, something like this. Then doesn't exist in the current context. What? Oh yeah, of course. For processing, I'm not sure I need to do anything so far, because we're moving stuff around and we're not doing anything. Turn that it's still interacting. Oh, I see. For the process, we will need to run something like continue interaction. Nah, the hand itself should continue the interaction. We'll be moving it around, we'll be throwing it. Nah. No. Let's not do it right now. I'll need to think about it a bit later. Yeah, so right now we'll not do anything. We will interact, we will stop interaction. And that's it. Public static roll stop action left equals false. So yeah, and dot is interacting equals int obj dot needs long interaction, and on top of this, if int obj equals null, we'll just return false and not do anything. We can debug log error. Some object is in action layer but is not interactive. Okay, then to stop interaction, we'll say that it's and it is interacting. We'll say stop interaction over here, and we'll make it void. So if it's not interacting and we're trying to stop interaction, then we should just return. If oh crap, this interactive object is not part of the hand, it's part of whatever the hand is touching right now. Let's say that it can only touch one interactive object at a time. Private game object action object equals null, and instead of his interactive color we'll put this somewhere. If hand dot this equals now highlight interaction. Oh yeah, I see. Equals null, then I need to pass game object in here. object. What? Interaction object equals this, and it's not equal this. Here we'll say equals null by default. No, we'll not say it's null by default. We'll say if not is interactive, active object equals null. So yeah, now we're saved and we don't need to add any extra logic on higher layers. Then interaction default good, hand dot interaction object equals null. Then we return in false, otherwise hand dot interaction object dot get component. Good, and here dot if it's not interacting, then or if the interaction object was destroyed for some reason. I'll need to think about it. Because, you know, when you're grabbing something that can be destroyed, for example a tree, and it's on fire, and you move it around, and then at some point it's totally burnt. Sorry. It's totally burnt, and you don't have anything else in your hand, we should somehow tell you about that issue. Then if the object equals null, then stop interact equals null. Now if it's not equal to null, and let's say here we put a question mark just in case, and use interacting equals false. I don't think there is sorry, I don't think there is an option that some object can be glued to our hand and not let it go, so we will just keep it as void. Okay, so now we can interact and we can stop interaction, and here we will do the hand dot stop interaction. Then here we can say var game object equals this, and we'll pass this game object in there. Everything seems to be nice right now. Now we need to add something derived from this. Let's call simple grabbable object. It's simple, it's grabbable, it's interactive. Okay. Simple interactive object. Come on. Interactive. This, and it's not abstract anymore, and it's override this, it's override this, it's override here, true. So to start interaction, we should not do anything. I will think about it in a minute, how I will check it. So I will have some logics that tells the object that it is destroyed now. So I will tell him. Means if I can tell some object that it's being destroyed, the object itself can tell someone else that it is destroyed now, it's gone. Something like that. But there are different possibilities on what we can do around this. Let's first stick to simple stuff that cannot get destroyed while it's still in the hand, and then think about what we need to add. It will be some addition. It's not likely to highly influence any of existing methods because they're too simple. So I have no idea how to do this right now. Got to think about it. Let's do simple stuff first, and then add layers. That's how stuff should be done. So to start interaction, we'll need to you see, right now I'm understanding that we'll need to pass the hand here, because they will need to know what they're interacting with. Yeah, of course I will need to describe logic for all the possible interactions with all the possible interactive objects. That's completely true. Like, some objects can reuse the same logics. I mean, trees, for example, will be really close to stones. They just have slightly different animation, and they will show the animation. That's it. And they will rotate a bit along the way. It will take some time, so meh. They will be slightly different, but slightly. But yeah, in general I will have to describe everything. That's what coding is, you know? No. What happened? I'm doing two files. I don't know what I did, but I shouldn't have done this. Thank you. Now we'll have private hand rabbit hand equals what? It's null. And if hand equals null, return. Otherwise, this dot hand equals hand. And now this dot, let's do this, transform dot parent equals, yeah, like if I try to describe what we'll need to do to complete the entire game for all the platforms and do all the stuff and everything and split it into at least doable steps, like not the steps that take several months to do, but something smaller, it will be just devastating amount of stuff. That's why I'm keeping it really simple, like something that person can understand and can hold. And then, when I'm done with something, I'm totally forgetting about this, because I don't need to care anymore how working stuff works. I need to know how to build extra layers. So I trust that camera movement and hand movement works. Now I'm building extra layers to interact stuff. Then I will add extra layers to destroy stuff, and more extras. Equals hand.transform. So here I'm doing a trick. I'm changing the parent of an object, which means I'm grabbing the object and it will stick to the hand. That's it. It will not move, it will not do anything extra. Then the object's parameters should... okay. Let's do simple stuff first. Again. Game object previous parent equals null. So we'll need to save the previous parent of the object, because here when we stop interacting, it's transform, it's not game object, of course. We'll say transform.parent equals previous parent and equals null, and that's it. That's all we'll do. Then this thing should know about its own rigid body. I guess it already knows about it. Rigid, no, it doesn't. Okay. Yep. Rigid body, public void, void awake. On awake, we'll say that rigid body is game object get component rigid body. If rigid body equals null, debug log critical log error. Simple interactive objects should always have rigid bodies. Is that true? It's not. That doesn't matter. Rigid body question mark dot is kinematic equals true. So when we're holding the stuff, okay, yep. When we're holding the stuff, it should not interact with anything. More or less, it should just follow the hand. And this means it will not interact with anything, but it's not enough. Dot detect collisions. I will need should collision be detected by default always enabled. Okay. Rigid body dot is kinematic equals false either. So if we have rigid body, means we need to remove its collision detection and we need to remove everything from it. And here we should do the opposite. We should enable everything back. Then start interaction with hand. We will need to add our hand interaction controller into this actual stuff. Public hand interaction controller, hand interaction controller, new hand. You can guess what it is. And it's serializable already, even though we don't have anything to serialize. Hand interaction controller. Let's call it interaction controller. I don't like repeating the absolutely same name. Now then, if input get mouse button 1. So if we're clicking right mouse button and we're not currently in rotation, controller, we should interaction controller dot process. Should I initialize it? Yes, I should. Initialize controller. Then yeah, okay, it shouldn't follow the same rules. It's a completely different thing. Because it should have start interaction. It says click. It should return boolean if it's interacting or not. If it's not interacting, then let's interact. Equals this. Return is interacting. I'm not sure it should have any process part. It should actually process click. Mwah. So if I pick something up when I just press the button down, it's not really good, because I should be doing this when the mouse button is up. But I'm thinking if I should somehow highlight that you're about to interact with stuff. Okay, let's do it the simple way right now. Again, here, not here. Let's close this. So, if get mouse button up and previous controller is not rotation, means we're not rotating stuff, then we should process click. Where is that? I have too many tabs open. We should process click. I want something to start running as soon as possible so I can see what is really happening. Then, and it should have some processing all the time, I think, because it doesn't run anything on its own. Then, if we're not interacting, then we should probably start doing so. Else, if we're interacting, have no idea what to do. Okay, for now we're not throwing stuff, so is interaction equals false, the hand dot stop interaction. I think that's it. It should not return anything about locks. There is no way to finish this other than process clicks. So let's try what will happen. I'm thinking that something weird will happen at first. So let's some object interaction, but it's not oh yeah, of course. Our stones lack one necessary stuff. It's simple interactive object. And apply to all. Up. Where did you go, man? So you see they're falling through the earth, which means what is this? Hides inherited component dot rigid body. Okay, good. I don't need this anymore. Why? Oh, okay, cool. My by followers. That sounds like a terrible idea. I don't know why. Like, I'm here not to get popular, I'm here to make a game. So the problem right now is that those things fall down and they just cease to exist entirely. Oh, they do exist. They're somewhere in this frame. Huh. Okay, so let's take the... What did I do and why did I do that? Let my mouse move properly, thank you. So, the second stone is this one. Let's see what will happen to it. Oh, okay, so is kinematic is not enough. My rigid body dot use gravity equals false. Use gravity equals true. I think most of our... I'm not sure. I think most of our stuff will use gravity. But I don't think everything will. Kinematic detect collisions. Okay, let's keep it this way. I should save those values and then restore them, and I should not just pass some random constants in there. Okay, I see. So you see, it's still moving in the hands frame of reference. Which means my rigid body dot angular velocity, collision detection, constraints should be this, freeze all, and I don't need anything else. So I'll do this. And here I will say constraints dot restore constraints. This doesn't work though, because something is wrong with this interactive thing. Interact needs long interaction. They should return true, so this thing should become true, so we should stop interaction, and when we stop interaction, what happens? We basically stop interaction. I don't know why this doesn't work. Okay, let's interact with this. Yeah, you see, now we grab the stone and we're holding it and we're letting it go and it's falling down. Lol. What? It feels like it has some momentum or something. Yeah, you see it's flying upwards. Slowly flying upwards. I think this is somehow related to the constraints that we're dealing with. And it falls through the ground, of course. Which means that when we do something with the hand, we put the circle right into the middle, right into the center of everything, and we should slightly jump stuff up. Yeah, let's just simply slightly jump stuff up. Let's say by some amount, 1 meter or something. half the hand size would do. Just thinking if the hand knows its own size. It doesn't. Yeah, it has a bunch of stuff, but it doesn't have anything useful for that matter. Do I know the hand size? It has radius of 0.5, let's say radius of 1. And here transform dot position equals transform dot position plus vector 3 dot up multiply just 1 meter. So it was lying on the ground. We will slightly move it up from the ground, but not too far. Hey, Ben! Yay! So, right now the hand for some reason doesn't know that it's holding something. And now it again doesn't know that it's holding something. I see what the point with layers there. Source layer. And layer equals hand dot game object dot layer. And here we'll say game object dot layer equals source layer. So now stuff that is already in our hand is not interactive. I wonder why my right clicks don't work anymore. Like, okay, I grabbed it. Why doesn't it do anything? For that we can debug stuff. Log assassin click. Then not there, just let's log this. Here we'll say started interaction and is interacting is this. Stopped interaction. And now let's see what is happening there. Hey. Okay, so now it is interacting. Processing click stopped interaction is interacting equals false, but the stone is still here. Why? Yeah, no, I misspelled this. So, let's do this. Is interacting true? Then stopped interaction is interacting false. But it doesn't come here. So I get into this call. No, wrong place for the dollar sign. Here and here. I'm here, is interacting, is true. So it gets there. Then it goes here. Oh, I see what the problem is. I'm changing the interaction object. I see. Yeah, this is the problem. So that means if it's not if hand dot oh yeah, true. Hand dot is interacting, return. So if we're already in interaction, we should not become interactive with any other objects. So now we can grab the stone and we can put it back. Grab, put, grab, and put. We can't throw them yet, but we can grab stuff and put stuff, which is kind of nice. It looks decent. Of course, they will not always lie on the same place where we put them, but they do behave. Let's try to make them collide at least. And will they? They will not collide with this. Yay, thanks. Awesome. So, now I can grab stone and I can put it back. The next question is how to not put it back but throw it. Right now I'm only processing the mouse up interaction, which is not right. I'll need to use this process. If I'm thinking that this interaction controller should be a part of movement controller. I mean, somehow embedded in there. Because hand movement is the default controller and it's the only place where this one can do something. I don't like the idea of this controller knowing which buttons we should click. But do I have any options? Yeah, I think it's just easier to include it right here. I don't care about previous controller anymore afterwards. I only care about right clicks. Or do I? So let's imagine we were rotating somewhere and then we released both buttons. We moved into the hand controller and we're processing it and everything is fine with the hand position, but everything is not fine with our interaction stuff. So I cannot. Okay. I need to somehow distinguish different options. Let's close unnecessary stuff. So, there is process mouse up. Nah. Mouse up. But we should also be able to public bool process mouse down, and we need to be able to cancel mouse down. So if is interacting, we should do some more stuff in here, and on cancel we should cancel this stuff out. How I will use it? Sure. Now it should work. How I will process this stuff? No. It should be something really simple. It should be something really simple. So, yeah. What I'm going to do about this, I'm going to process mouse up when the mouse is up and it's relevant to the interaction. If the mouse is down, then I will start, for example, throwing stuff like we did in. So let's imagine we'll throw stuff by pressing right mouse button, moving the mouse, giving some energy to the stuff, and then releasing the mouse. It will fly. That is fine and nice and everything, but when we click the right mouse button, that doesn't always mean that we're going to throw something. That might mean that we want to rotate the camera, and we don't want to make it look like this is our kind of interaction. So I will call process mouse down. So here I will say interaction controller dot cancel mouse down, and here for get mouse down 1. Controller dot and okay, so if I'm releasing mouse down, so this is not the only case. I need to re-click the mouse button. Come on. So I need some plan. Oh, and it's time already. I'll soon be finishing up the stream for today. So what we have right now is we need to somehow identify for what reason we clicked this thing, and if we clicked it to grab something, then we should grab it. If we clicked it to release something, we should release it. But if we clicked it to click the second mouse button and turn the camera around, we shouldn't do either. Which brings us into an interesting spot, where if we're rotating the camera and the user releases the right mouse button first, then we will just move the hand and start moving with the left mouse button, which sounds fine. But if he releases the left mouse button first, we shouldn't start interacting right away, because that will make a terrible experience. We should remember that this mouse button was clicked for a completely different reason. Okay, let's skip it. Should skip right mouse up equals false. Here I'll say that it's trim. And Here I will say so if this is false, then I should set it to true, and then I should say interactive controller dot cancel mouse down. Here and not should skip, and if input get mouse button down 1 should skip equals false. So if we click the right mouse button, then direction controller dot process mouse down. Okay, let's try this, because I'm not sure this will work at all. First thing I will do is I will grab a stone, and then I will rotate the camera, pressing first left, then right, then releasing right and left, and it works. Actually wonder, yeah, that works good. Then, second way, I will press in the opposite direction, and then release in the same way, and it's still good. Then I will release in the opposite, and then I will just drop stuff. Yeah, everything works fine now. Also, I should remove those logs everywhere, because I figured what was happening. And now they're just flooding the space. I don't want that to happen. Yeah, we don't have any log. We have some logs. And we should remove those. Good. Now, I think we'll come to this on the next sprint. On the next sprint. Sure. We'll do this on the next stream. The process mouse down and cancel mouse down, and we'll learn to throw stuff. Did I misspell cancel? Cancel, yep, of course, I did misspell it, and for some reason the spell checking worked. I don't know how can this be? Where are the two places I'm using this? This should be one place. Oh yeah, I see. Whoop. Here. Good. So let's go to our plan. Let's see what we did here. Position hand properly when above the stone. We decided to not do something about this. So, done. We learned to grab it. Learned to put it back. Now throw the stone. Using methods... process mouse down and cancel mouse down. Track. Yeah, why am I typing cancel with 2 and process with 2e? Okay, I should just finish this stuff. Track how much speed the object should get, and on mouse up actually throw it. Sounds simple? Sounds simple. Easily done? I'm not sure. Okay, I think that's it for today. Let's make sure we save everything. Make sure that all the prefabs are saved. That the terrain is saved and everything is saved. Okay, everything looks good. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and join me on the next stream, I think tomorrow. Have a good day, everyone.